Hey guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today I wanted to take you for a walk around a Trac Contractor Pro. This one here is a 24-foot length, 90-pound GVW. And the reason I wanted to take you for a walk around this particular unit, we're going to be doing more Contractor Pros this year with a plank floor. So this trailer is going to, from a structural standpoint, be pretty much the twin to the Landscape Pro, as the Landscape Pro and Contractor Pro share pretty much the exact same structure. But these come in probably halfway price-wise between the regular Pro Series and the Landscape Pro. And honestly, a little bit of difference for most people probably isn't going to make a whole lot of difference really for what they're doing on a daily basis. So let me take you for a walk around and show you what's different. But honestly, you're looking at one of the two bigger differences. The Contractor Pro has a bullnose, so it's got a flat front, flat top, which actually makes sense because in the Landscape Pros, they actually take and build a false wall. So they're a radius front outside and then a flat front inside. So they have to build a false wall to receive the front workbench, where this already has a flat front, so you can build shelves or whatever you want. And then inside it doesn't have the workbench. They're the two main differences. Again, let's take a walk around it. I think this is going to be an ideal setup for a lot of landscapers. So again, it is going to say Contractor Pro. It's designed for contractors, landscapers, etc. Anybody that's more of an industrial user for this unit. And I guess I should, before I get started, this comes in different sizes. Again, this is a 24, but we stock it all the way down to a 16. And it is available with different GVWs. This is a 90-pound. That's the minimum typically we order this in. Occasionally we do a 14,000 pound. Just for what it's worth, this actually has pretty much the same or very similar structure. Basically on the 10K, you're getting pretty much a 14K chassis. So this is like a super heavy duty 10K trailer. It's not a whole lot of price upgrade to go to the 14K because most of the upgrades are already on this particular unit. So starting out up front, it's going to have an adjustable cast coupler, standard on all the Landscape and the Contractor Pro models. Also gets a plus 6-inch tongue. Typically your tongues are going to be about 4 foot. This one here I believe is going to be closer to 5. Gives you plenty of maneuverability if you've got anything from a stake body to a dolly, etc. Trim out the bottom, so it's got 3-inch trim. You'll notice it's mitered instead of just butt cut, and they do trim out the front. It's got a triple tube tongue up front as well, so you've got a regular A-frame, and then you got the center drawbar. And I'll show you later on, but this drawbar down the center actually goes back in headers right about there, and it's actually going to be a tubular header, 2x6 tube, instead of just a lot don't do a triple tube, and the ones that do generally just header into a piece of fab channel. So we'll show you that in a second. It does have a standard 7-pin RV plug. It's a dual prong connection instead of a single. It's got a plug holder as well. Safety chains on these are a little bit meatier than your traditional cargo trailer hook. They're actually more of an equipment style hook. They've also got a holder on them as well. Of course, your breakaway cable. Jack on this is a 7K jack. It's also bolt on, so if you ever need to replace it, it's easy to do so. The harness on the whip is sealed as well, I should say, and it's grommeted and ran in frame. And then you've got your breakaway battery. On these drop leg jacks, if you've never had one before, these have a pin with a inner sleeve and an outer sleeve, so you've got plenty of height adjustment. No need to ever carry around a wood block or similar. This unit's got your finished corners. It's also got your front bullnose. Up top, you're going to see the air flow through vent. So you've got basically a driver side intake up high, and then you've got the opposite on the rear bottom passenger side for your exhausting out the rear. If it looks a little cleaner going down the side, this trailer is screwless exterior. So a lot of trailers historically would have had a bead of screws, of course, at the seam. And if it's only got screws at the seam only, it's going to be what we call semi-screwless. And then we've got fully screwed, which basically would be every 16 on center in the wall. So basically every 16 inches, you're going to see a screw pattern going down. This is full screwless. Just gives it a cleaner look. Also a lot nicer if you're going to decal a trailer or wrap it, etc. So your 3-inch bottom trim continues around. A lot of times you're going to see a 1-inch trim depending on the I'll say grade of trailer. Being a 5,200-pound axle, you've got a 6-lug wheel. Notice there's no equalizer in the center. That's just because this is torsion suspension. They also do a little bit of a frame lift on the Contractor Pro and Landscape Pro. So it's going to sit a little bit taller. It's got aluminum wheels standard, and then 225/75 R15. That's a load range D 8-ply tire. And you also see the green caps. They are nitrogen filled. Going back to the rear of the trailer, you've got the finished hoop. So you've got your anodized corners all the way around. Lights on these are going to be stop turn tails, but then they've also got the bottom 4 diodes would be a reverse light. 4 full width hinges with grease zerk standard. One little detail I like on Trac, this is Flexco, made in USA hardware. It just seems to fit better than the Chinese hardware. One of the little things that I like on it. You've got metal handles. You've got aluminum instead of plastic. A lot of times you might only get 1 handle. This has 2. And again, it's also a little bit nicer hardware. 5 bumpers on the rear door. A lot of times you'll see 2 or 3. Another little detail as this door comes down, I'll just point out that Trac's doors are generally very, very, I'll say, appropriately wound. That trailer door will hang there. It's pretty well about perfectly sprung. Just give it a little push to get it down to the ground. A lot of manufacturers, it's either going to slam up or slam down. They've got theirs wound just about perfect. Also notice at the end of the door, you've got an integrated transition. That's a neat setup for anybody that's contractor, landscaper, that's got equipment they're bringing in. The other neat part is you can't see it from the outside of the trailer. It looks like a normal trailer from the outside. There's a couple, I'd say 3 other ones in the industry maybe that have somewhat copied this style design, but they just don't look quite the same. Tread plate gives you a little bit better grip than the smooth, and some of them you see it from the outside. It just doesn't look right. This has a heavier duty ramp on it. This particular unit's also got a plank floor inside, 2x6 pressure treated plank upgrade. And then on the ramp itself, we've got 3/4 pressure treated on the door. So typically inside, you're going to have a 12-inch on center floor with a regular 3/4 flooring. We've upgraded to 2x6 plank flooring, just like you would get on an open trailer. It's just a lot more durable. It also breathes a little bit. When this is installed, they're pretty darn tight, but you're still going to get a little bit of room to breathe. And as it cures and dries out, you're going to get a little bit of gapping. Just lets this breathe a lot better for anybody that's going to put gas equipment inside. On the walls, we've got a 16 on center. It's a tube stud. Also on the roof bows, tube studding. You've got 2 dome lights. On the ceiling, you've got a ceiling liner above the bows. It's actually got a reflective insulation built into it, which is nice. Side door with a step well. It's got a switch for 2 dome lights. It's a residential switch, not a traditional cargo trailer switch. If it looks a lot cleaner in the walls, there is no Lawan stripping. This is all aluminum H molding. It's nice because not only does it help secure the sheeting, it just gives it a nice clean look, and it's aluminum, not a wood product. We used to have batten strips or lawn strips years ago that just always needed to secure because staples would pull through the wall. But again, gives it a nice clean look. You've got your mill finish cove around the top that finishes everything, trims it out. Same thing up front. So again, 2 dome lights. A little bit heavier spring on this. It's actually got a dual spring across the top instead of 1. Just lifts a little bit more evenly. This particular unit would be same structure as your Landscape Pro. So basically at the bottom of each wall stud, you've got a gusset, and then at each corner, you've got a 9x16 gusset. So basically 4 on the corners, and then the bottom of each stud, it's all gusseted. And then this model as well would have a wind brace in the walls as well to help keep everything tied together and straight. So you can use this for a little bit of everything, anything from a landscaper to light equipment. We've had guys with anything from floor tile removing equipment to sometimes little scissor lifts, etc. So we do stock this in different models, different heights, different GVWs. This does have standard heights. It would have to be a lower piece of equipment. We've got some that go as high as 9 foot inside height. If somebody's got a taller piece of ride-on equipment, etc. This in a 24 foot is going to weigh in probably just north of 4,000 pounds. I would say maybe 43. 20 footer, you're probably going to weigh about 4 even. So just keep that in mind. For a landscaper, you got plenty of payload. 3 mowers, you're maybe 5,000 pounds. You're good for, on a 20 footer, about 6, plus tongue weight's going to be another 1,500 pounds. So this has not only the capacity, but more importantly, this is built for the duty cycle of your heavier duty users. Let me take you a look underneath the trailer. So we've got a 16-inch on center. I'm sorry, standard would be 16. This is going to be 12. One thing I want to point out, your outriggers on this are going to be 2x5 tube. Mainframe's 2x6, outriggers are 2x5, but they're tube, not formed. Up front, you can see a junction box for your wiring. A lot of manufacturers don't do that. And then that header I wanted to tell you about is right there where your triple tube tongue comes together, all ties together. You see a gusset plate underneath. A lot of manufacturers aren't going to put that plate there. Just a lot of little stuff they do different. There's your underframe bridging with your with your torsion axles. So a lot of little stuff they do on these. We use short track for most of the heavier duty industrial type trailers. This is available in different colors, although a lot of our commercial stuff we do in white. You can also get silver, charcoal, black, etc. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a shout, 717-220-4220, or you can view all of our inventory on our website at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.